everything here and nothing in no one. It's a beautiful day. As always. Anonymous. That's how I'd like to remain. I want to talk a little bit about negative in the sense of experiences, because it's funny how, life is funny, old world, isn't it? Yeah, it is. When it comes to experiences, think about how the times in your life, as I think most people probably come to realize, in a sense, you ever notice how when you're in the moment of what you deem to be a negative experience, and you do deem it that way, and you're feeling that, and it feels like the worst thing that ever happened to you, or that's happening to you, have you ever noticed, though, how when you're not in it and time's gone by, whether it be a few months, few years, or a bunch of years, have you personally, either yourself or ever witnessed anyone start telling you a story about some time where they just were going through what we all call the shit? And you ever notice there's a decent amount of times we tend to laugh about those things, and also sometimes it's when they come up at parties, and you get into that thing where you think that's bad, dude, remember, check this out, I went through blah 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 blah, and you're like, what? No way, dude, what the hell, like, that's crazy, and you're laughing about it. And then what I'm getting at is, you'll notice sometimes people will tell you an event that they experienced, that they lived through, or did it live through them, and they'll end, I've heard this enough times, that's why I'm using it, they'll end on the note that they'll say something like, yeah, it was a really negative experience, but at least something positive came out of it. Well, again, if we pay attention to our words and what we're actually saying, if it was in fact a negative experience, then how did something positive come out of it? How does that work? Math is one of my best subjects. So, from my understanding, you can't get a positive from a negative. That's not the way that works. How does that work? Anyone care to explain it to me? So, what I would suggest is maybe that situation was never in fact negative. I've also noticed people saying certain situations in their life that it was the worst thing for them at the time, but they're grateful for that experience because of what it contributed to their life, and to them just as a person, and the way that they now currently are. Again, if it's negative, then how can it contribute? Wouldn't it detract? Simple questions. How does something that's negative contribute to anything? How do you get something from, or take something away from, something that's negative? I'm pretty sure you don't. So, what made that negative? The answer is you did. You decided it was negative. So that's how you chose to see it. And then for the people who end up getting themselves to that point to where they're like, oh, hey, yeah, oh, that was a horrible thing, but I appreciate it now because it helped cause this to happen. That's also the funny thing is how you'll end up realizing at times the worst times of your life, when you look back, say for example, things that nothing was going the way you wanted it to go, like the way you knew consciously how you thought everything should go perfectly, that would have made you happy at that time. And you ever had those moments where you look back and you're like, dude, I didn't even realize it, but like, whoa, if everything had gone the way I wanted it to go, then that means if this had just changed and this was like this and this didn't happen, then this wouldn't have happened, and I wouldn't have met this person or this and that. And then you're like, dude, it's like a whole chain of events. And like what I spent all these years thinking was like the worst thing that ever happened to me actually ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me. I would have been stuck over here in this situation, and there's no way I would have never got it and been able to appreciate it till right now. Damn, that's crazy. But I'm like, can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm grateful that I went through that and this asshole did this to me, because if that didn't happen, then all this wouldn't have happened. That's where the whole judgment thing, man, comes into play. That's why just observing, we place the labels. You guys have so much more power than you are allowing yourself to remember and be aware of. You're in control without having to do anything. And you are the dictators of your own life and your experience, and you decide what's what. If you can kind of let that sink in, or just put it on a back burner, for a bit, and let it just kind of simmer, you'll end up you'll end up realizing just what I mean by that, and you'll end up starting to feel a little like a little reason to not be depressed, to not feel trapped, to not feel stuck. When you realize that you choose your feelings, and that you choose what to call your experience. That's why you got wealthy people committing suicide, because you don't buy happiness, you decide to have it. And as further proof, man, there's so many people who get what we would say is like the short straw in life. And how many more times do we need to see videos of them or run it, or see them living their lives through, by whatever means you cross their path, and you see these people who got both their legs chopped off, or born with one lung or something like that, and you have those moments, if you ever had them, where you notice like, why do they seem to be happier than me? What the hell? Those moments that really push things or put things into perspective. Anytime you see someone who's in a situation that you personally would deem as not ideal for yourself, or lackluster, less than what you think is the standard for what's required for happiness here. And it's those moments, if you ever had it, where you're like, shit, so I'm just an ungrateful little whiny bitch then, huh? And like someone who was on AGT, Nightbird. Dude, this girl got cancer and had her husband leave her. And then while she still has the cancer, goes on there to sing her song and bring hope to the world just by doing what she loves to do. And she has the audacity to say, I'm not going to be able to do a direct quote, but something along the lines of, you can't wait until life stops being difficult or hard to decide you're going to be happy. And you got me, little baby back bitch over here, complaining about my life when I'm sitting there watching this thing. And yeah, I got just cause. If anyone knew what my life is actually like and how long it's been like that, dude, I got not even just one reason. I got multiple reasons to throw in the towel. To want to just... Dude, I literally was that dude driving around, you know, Christmas time, Thanksgiving, and looking at people smiling and being like, what are you so happy about? I was just totally not myself anymore. I was never like that before, until all of a sudden things started going not the way that I wanted them to go or thought they should be going. And then you stumble on someone like that, and it's just like a slap in the face to kind of wake you up. And it makes you realize, like, I'm a piece of shit. I don't have cancer that I know of. I didn't get cancer and have the love of my life ditch my ass. And I'm sure that had an effect. If she was married, probably lived together, probably affected her finances. Who knows? Who knows? Her and her family, I guess. But that's what I'm saying, man. There's people who got all types of what we would call problems and issues, and yes, some of them let it get to them. But then you always come across that one that's... And not only are they happy with themselves, but they're going out of their way to try to help other people? Are you kidding me? With everything that they got on their plate? That's insane, right? The way we would see it here. You would think if you got all that shit going on, you're too busy and too preoccupied and overwhelmed to be able to do anything for anyone other than yourself. Boy, that Nightbird, she's a light worker and an angel if I've ever seen one. So, just bringing you light and love, positivity, and a little extra perspective, a little different viewpoint. Be careful of that judging thing. I mean, do what you want to do. It's all love, and it's all working towards the same goal, and everything is working perfectly. There's nothing wrong with this place. Otherwise, why would it be? That's the whole thing, is like, people who believe in a supreme being, they created all this, and you think there's not supposed to be some things aren't supposed to be how they are, and you think this being is love and the source of all life. Well, then why is everything here? And why is all this stuff here the way it is? when you're looking at things and you're judging them, you're judging, those of you that believe in this, you're judging the work of the source of life, of the God that you say that you believe in. And you're telling him that his stuff is shit. And I understand, because I did the same thing. But that's what you're doing. People want to make their signs. God hates fags. Yeah, he does. Through you. Because you're doing that right now. Him himself, in his true nature, doesn't hate anything. We're all mirrors, man. And that which you see in others, is that what you have in yourself, in your own heart, in your own mind? A line in a song I love by a band called Lit. I think they wrote this song when they were under the name Razzle. So glad they changed it to Lit. You point the finger, but there's 3 pointed back at you. Dude, do not judge unless ye be judged. Because whether you realize it or not, whatever you're judging yourself. Literally. If you want to take this oneness, we're all of the same energy, made of the same stuff, literal, because that's what it is, well, that's what you're doing. And there's a difference. It's a good note too, so that way you don't have to be in fear of, because you notice what you notice and you see what you see. There's a difference between judging and observing and making an observation. And one way to know is you see something happening and you just see it plainly for what it is, and you just say what it looks like to you. Versus with judgment, there usually tends to be a feeling there. It causes you to feel a certain way. You'll notice, that's where you have it, where it messes up your day or your mood. You're harboring something there. Versus just an observation, you don't care one way or the other. You look and you see, oh yeah, all right, oh, that guy's an asshole. Okay, whatever. But you're not, I gotta talk about it for the next 3 days. Can't believe. Oh, that's a way to know. So, cheer up, Charlie. I hate that song. I hate that part of the movie. Put that in the comments. Anybody else watch that movie? And I'm so glad the new version of that movie just skips over that part. Anybody else who ever watched that movie? I watched that when I was a kid. I literally used to knock out every time it came to that part, and then just wake up perfectly when it was over. Like, that part would come up, you see his mom walk out, I'm like, oh, this part again. Let's see, I'm gonna play with my toys while she sings this boring ass song. And I'm like, oh, cool, it's over. Who thought that was a good idea to keep in that movie? It doesn't even really fit. I'm just curious. Does anybody else just get to that part and you're like, why? It can't just be myself and my group of friends that are like, that part comes up, fast forward! You always hear somebody up, fast forward! Nope, we ain't doing this. Either that or it's time to get up and make some drinks. Yeah, I'll cheer up alright. My way, not with you're singing a song about cheering up and it's bringing me the down. Alright. On that note, everyone have a nice day. Everyone know that you are in fact positive light and love. and there's nothing wrong with you. Can't wait to cover that. I got a little special analogy, once again, just utilizing things that people say and showing how everybody knows. They just don't realize it. But remember, you can have it too, because you already do. Everyone's beautiful. Everyone's perspective is valid. You're all doing wonderful, man. Just your being. This whole thing, you're super, super important. And don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. I don't care if all you ever do is be a bag boy for your whole life until you die. That was necessary. It was necessary for you to have done and be as you are, doing what you are. Because if you weren't necessary, then why would you be here? Unless those who do believe in some type of God and creator think that this being is just making people to be unnecessary, or that he doesn't care about. Like, he just went, yeah, I don't really care about this one like I care about all the other ones. I'm just gonna throw them in there. Let's put the trash pile in the finished product. The rejects, let's go ahead. It ain't like that. So yeah, peace out.